Amber Myre needs no introduction, and she is our program speaker today. Give a big hand for Amber.
Hello, Rotarians. Nice stuff going here. All right, we'll see if I can behave myself and stay behind the microphone. All right. Okay. Woohoo. Super excited to finally get to talk to you all about something that I'm very passionate about. October, it was very timely, is National Disability Employment Awareness Month. It's the 80th anniversary, and Living Opportunities celebrated its 50th anniversary last year. So it seemed very apropos that I talk about employment with you all today. Many of you know Living Opportunities supports people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, but the majority of my presentation is really going to be talking generally about disability because 1 in 6 Americans will eventually experience a disability in their life. And we really need to think about how our community is embracing all of us, and particularly when we think about work, because we all have abilities long past what is considered traditional retirement age, and just want to get people thinking about the workplace differently. Nope, didn't work.
At work, it's what people can do that matters. And every day, people with disabilities can and do add value and talent to America's workforce and economy. We are designers and developers, managers and mentors, entrepreneurs and innovators. We make, create, educate. For 250 years, we have contributed to America's success, America's strength, America's power. But truly maximizing America's success starts with maximizing every American's potential, their potential to build and to serve, to contribute and to lead. Because America works best when everybody works. Celebrating America means celebrating the value all Americans contribute to our nation's workforce, including people with disabilities. Learn more about ways to capitalize on our talent. Visit dol.gov/NDEAM.
Just a cool little promo video that I thought I'd share. So like I mentioned, my lens is really heavily focused on the developmental disabilities community. But what we've learned in partnering with other community members, that it affects a wide variety of the population, from people that experience mobility issues, blindness, hearing loss, mental illness. All of these things are very prevalent now in our world. And just want to share some kind of benefits about why hiring this diverse section of our workforce would impact your businesses positively. So I know a lot of you are connected to the business community, even if you're not currently still working. If you're in that luxury retirement time of your life, you're still Rotarians and you're very active in the community. So I'm hoping that some of these things that I talked to you today about, you can take with you out into those community connections and help educate and further this message. Oh, I went too far. Sorry. This is a wonderful website. So if you take nothing else away, think about EARN. It's the acronym for this employment website that provides businesses with a ton of resources and connections when they're thinking about supporting disability in their workforce. Whether they have somebody that's come forward and said, I just had this debilitating illness and I need some accommodations. Maybe they're looking to just tap into this untapped workforce and they're looking for some tax incentives or other more economic-based impacts. This website is kind of the first go-to place. And there's a wonderful roadmap to help businesses outline how to hire people. I added a little Star Wars vibe to my presentation, if you haven't noticed. So 22 million Americans of working age experience a disability. That amounts to about $650 billion of our economy spending. So not only is it positive for a bunch of other reasons that I'll talk about, it also can really economically impact a business, when you have representation in your workforce, it will also draw in customers that recognize that and the spending power of that population. It also has a significant impact on your productivity and the performance of all the workers, right? When you create a welcoming environment for everybody, all of the people that work there benefit. Like I mentioned, there's financial incentives available from the federal level, state level, even city level sometimes. And satisfaction and retention are off the charts when it comes to people with disabilities being hired. Pre-pandemic, Living Opportunities had an 87% retention rate after 3 years. If you're in HR at all, you know that is pretty amazing to have that same worker in a job after 3 years. It saves you a ton of money on your recruiting, your hiring, all of those things. All these pictures are of wonderful supported employees by Living Opportunities, and I'll share some of the businesses they're working at here in a little bit. Second resource that is really impactful, and this is even for people that may be on short-term disability, right? Maybe a workman's comp claim, and they only have like partial release to come back to work, and you have to scramble to come up with accommodations to save you money on workman's comp costs by bringing them back to work sooner. This website, Ask Jan, is all about accommodations in the workplace, and they'll help support you walk through whatever that disabling condition is with ways to accommodate that employee in the workforce. So really incredible ways to just like think differently and maintain those employees. So they did a big survey over a 5-year period of people that utilized accommodations in the workforce, those businesses, asked them questions like, did this gain you value? Most of the accommodations were at no cost. So they didn't cost the business anything. They were free, and they helped you maintain an employee. 66% said those accommodations were effective. And there are a ton of direct and indirect benefits. Direct meaning to that position directly. So like I mentioned, retention, productivity increases, attendance level increases by 47%. I don't know about you, but we as a business struggle with employees showing up to work these days. And actual savings on workman's comp, like I mentioned, and insurance rates being reduced. Some of the really cool indirect benefits are really about well-being and satisfaction in the entire workforce. So that cultural change that happens, morale increases, overall safety increases, overall interactions between coworkers is more positive. So I don't know about you, but sometimes work environments can get a little dramatic at times, depending on where you are and what's going on. And we've really seen that those kind of smooth out when people with disabilities are welcomed into the environment. So here's where I'm going to talk a little bit about Living Ops and how we come in. There are a lot of organizations like ours that support people with disabilities in this community. Oregon Commission for the Blind is a big one. The vocational rehabilitation services apply to anybody that experiences some kind of barrier to work. You have veteran services. Veterans that come back may experience disability entering the workforce. So there are a lot of community partners out there that can help you as a business kind of walk through what this would look like and support you the whole way, like Living Ops does. We currently partner with over 80 local businesses that employ over 100 people with intellectual and developmental disabilities here in the Rogue Valley. The really cool thing that we've developed over the years is working with community partners to help grow job skills before an applicant goes out and applies for work. So once a person reaches working age, our services can come in a variety of different ways to help that person identify their skills and abilities, what kind of supports they may need on the job, what kind of jobs interest them. Because we all know if we're working somewhere that we're into, that we're interested in, we're going to be happier and we're going to stay there and we're going to be more productive. So we really try to match that individual person's skills and abilities, that whole package, with a business and a job that will fit them so they stay there long term. We also provide long-term on-the-job training and support. We have people like here at the Rogue Valley Country Club who've been working here over 12 years. Job coaches come in and check on them, make sure the country club is happy, the staff is happy, the person working here is happy. Everybody has a win-win situation.
Living Opportunities Employer of the Year, Quantum Innovations.
Living Opportunities came in, and we knew right away that this was an organization that we wanted to align with. Robert and Tavis have been a great part of our organization. The job coaches really helped us form that relationship and let those guys be independent and stand on their own, as this is such a great opportunity to have these folks as part of your organization. Just pushes and builds and enhances your culture.
If your business needs dedicated part-time employees, call 541-772-1503.
Yeah, that's an old video, but I really liked that one because Norm is such a wonderful speaker. So I want to call out Quantum Innovations here because this was a really interesting kind of niche business that you don't really know exists in our community. They make coatings for your eyeglasses, and they use a lot of high-tech equipment that they've created themselves using quantum technology, like really Spider-Man level stuff here, I swear, when you hear them talk about it. But this was interesting because the way that we ensure that a business gets an employee that matches what they need is we go in there and we actually learn that job ourselves. So our employment staff will go in there and spend sometimes days, in this case, weeks, because the type of work that this position would be needing to do was pretty technical. And we had to really figure out how we were going to break that job down to teach somebody who may need a little bit longer with the training portion than they would typically offer their regular staff. So we spent a couple of weeks in there really figuring out all of those machine aspects, the chemical compositions, the measurements, the weighing of the product, all of these things that went together to make that job successful. So that's the kind of services that Living Ops can come in and do, really break down those jobs, make sure we're making a good match for the business so that everybody is successful.
Living Opportunity.
The way that the job coaches.
Ooh, all right. We're going to watch it again, I guess. So kind of brings me to, I thought I would have to go really fast, so I just breezed through this because we had so much Halloween stuff going on. So how can Rotary and local employers help lead in this employment realm? Really just being a champion, right? Knowing that there are services like ours that exist that can help businesses and employers fill a need, and sharing that when you come across those businesses, hear people talking about their hiring struggles. Hey, actually, I know somebody in my Rotary who maybe can come in and help you. Simple as that. But also just recognizing those members of your community working in community businesses. So say you're at Fred Meyer's and you happen to notice they have hired somebody with some diversity to do their greeting or these other jobs that you just notice. It's perfectly okay to go up to a manager in that business and say, I really appreciate you and that you've opened your doors to hiring diverse members of your community. Simple as that, right? It reinforces that the community wants this, that they want all members of our community to be a part of the workforce. If you are a larger employer, you could think about hosting job fairs specifically to the disabled community. And then partnering with organizations like Living Opportunities. So, like I said, intellectual and developmental disabilities is our forte, but we are connected to a lot of other people in the community that can help support all types of disabilities. So if you hear of somebody struggling with their employment because now they are themselves disabled and they're looking for resources or support, you're welcome to share our information and I can help connect them to resources. Do that almost daily. So this month really helps us remember that everybody in our community has skills, creativity, and abilities to contribute. I love Matt's quote. Matt worked at Butler Automotive Group until his aging needs prevented him from being there anymore. But they were awarded one of our Business Partners of the Year awards. And one of the things Matt said was, I need to work because I'm trying to make a living and support myself, just like my mom and my boss and everyone else here. That's what people do, and that's what I want to do. It's basically that simple, right? If you think about how you find identity and passion in your life, a lot of times it's related to what you do for work. It is for me. I found my purpose at Living Ops, and that really drove me to stay there as long as I have been and promoting this work moving forward. And for a lot of you in this room, I've talked to you about your work, and you're very passionate about your work. It's where you find your purpose in life. And just like us, right? We create relationships where we work. Our friendships, a lot of our social circles are around our workplace. For people with disabilities, you're frequently isolated. You don't build relationships to the same degree as other people. And that workplace relationship is even more important. So not only does it help with the social aspects of people's lives, but it also gives them that personal purpose. That went really fast, George. I thought I would have to be really fast. So I would love to have questions, share information. There's stuff out on the table. Blaine, who is our business relations guy, he is the one that would come meet with you, talk to you, help connect you to our current job seekers. We've got a lot of them right now. Quite a few were laid off by our VTD recently, just like a lot of their workforce. So we've got a handful influx at once, needing jobs. So at your table is information about some of our services specifically. One new service that we're really trying to push is PATH, which is really about creating a pathway to paid employment. We partner with a lot of other local nonprofits to provide work experiences so that people can gain skills to put on their resume to then go out into the paid workforce. So if you know nonprofits that need volunteers consistently, just other businesses that need internships, this PATH program is volunteer, but it helps to build those skills for people's resumes, give them references when they move into paid employment. So brochure about that program is on your table. That's one we're really trying to push right now, particularly because students with disabilities who come out of school lack a lot of work experience, right? And it's much harder to get students with disabilities into internships and work programs through their school. So we're trying to kind of bridge some of that gap with the youth and give them an opportunity to build those skills before entering the workforce. And some newsletters and Blaine's cards. And Rogers. And then you're going to play a video of just popping up some of our employers in the background. It's got no noise or anything. So
Nice job, Em.
thanks, Roger.
Can you make this presentation available to the members of the club? It went by quickly, and I'm sure nobody memorized it. So
no, and I'm big on data and facts, so I threw a lot of stuff in there probably nobody care about, but I think they're fascinating. So I didn't really talk about them, but it's there. The data is there, so you can use it when you're out there talking to people. But yes, John records this, and it's posted to our Rotary website, but I will also link it in the post on the webpage as well.
Amber, you did a great job. I'm so impressed. And I got to tell you, I was at Red Lobster about a month or so ago with some friends having lunch, and the nice young man that seated us was a special guy, and he was so good, but he was so intense. And I did tell the manager when I left, I told the manager, this person who was shadowing him, and then somebody else, that it was just great to see him out here working, and thanks for the community support.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Phil.
Over here.
Hi, Phil.
Hello. So could you explain to potential employers the support that they will receive from job coaches, voc rehab? Don't feel like you have to do it on your own. There are supports for these potential employees. Could you kind of walk people through how the process works?
Yeah. So when we get an individual interested in work, we partner typically with vocational rehabilitation. They fund a lot of our work to go out there and meet with businesses and find the jobs. They also will pay for a lot of the accommodations, if any are needed, if any assistive technology or adaptive equipment is needed for the job. And there are also work incentives for businesses through that program that can help offset some of the initial cost of hiring the employee, because it takes a little bit of extra training time sometimes to get them up to a production level, maybe of a non-disabled employee. So they'll help offset some of those wages costs even. But what Living Ops will do is we'll meet with a business once they let us know they're interested in hiring one of our job seekers. We'll go in, meet with them, walk them through what this will look like. We will learn the job, like I gave the example of Quantum. Our job coaches who know that individual will go in there and learn the job so they can break it down to how that person learns to be most effective. And then that job coach stays with that person once they're hired all the way through the process of job training until the person is comfortable and confident and the business is comfortable and confident. And then the job coach slowly fades into the background. It kind of feels like stalking sometimes as you're in this awkward position of like peeking around a corner to see how somebody's doing. All right, they're good. I'm going to go back over here and hide again. But it's all part of like a slow phase out process so that we make sure everybody is happy, everybody's winning in this scenario. And then years later, we're still around. We still do check-ins. We pop in every month or so, make sure the business is still doing okay, everything's going well with the employee. Some of our job seekers need support the whole shift, the whole time, and that's also okay. And we're there for that as well. So it's not any kind of extra burden on a business. We really take that on so the person can seamlessly integrate into those businesses like anyone else.
I'm assuming the answer is yes, but just thinking about it from the employee perspective, do you help young people sort of figure out what their areas of gifting are? Like I have someone in my organization who is 18 and her family is sort of at a loss for what direction she might be able to go in. Is that part of what you all do? Do they start somewhere else for that?
Nope, that's also part of that PATH program in particular. So we already have established business partners that open their door for these work experiences. So we'll give them maybe some photo examples of the job tasks that are available at those businesses. If they already have ideas of places that they're regularly customer of and they're interested in learning more about the jobs there, we can set those up. But that's really what that program is, to help people explore those skills and interests, as well as building those as they go.
Great job. Great organization. Anything else for Amber before we go to the winners? Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay. Beth.
I'm going to answer a little bit Stacy's question. I first met Amber when our daughter was seeking employment. She has some developmental disabilities, and Amber was her job coach. Awesome. You couldn't ask for a better place to be around or have your kids be supported. And I get emotional every time, don't I? And I love her.
We love you.
So
We love you,
Thanks,
Beth. Okay.
Amber, you're doing a great job.
Hi, thanks. I'm sweating because I decided it was a good idea to keep my cape on. I don't know why.
I'm curious,
Well, you.
I'm curious to what
Fire.
extent you provide services to disabled veterans.
We don't directly, but I can connect you to people that do.
Well, I'm not looking for a job.
Gene, you're retired.
So there are other organizations out there like Living Ops that support veterans, and I can help make connections should that need arise for people.
Oh, that's true.